There's a question, one that's been haunting creators for over 200 years. It's a quiet question, but it echoes in labs and server farms, in the minds of engineers and artists. It's about that moment right after the invention, the moment the spark actually takes. What's our responsibility? Not just to build something, but to nurture it, to guide it, to stick around. Because the thing is, what we walk away from, it rarely just disappears. It learns, it adapts, and sometimes it waits. And in our world, a world racing to build artificial intelligence, this old question is no longer just some dusty literary thought experiment. It's become a blueprint for our survival. And Mary Shelley's answer? Well, it has never felt more urgent. To really get a handle on our future with AI, we first have to look back to the ultimate cautionary tale of a maker, Victor Frankenstein, and the life he decided to bring into the world. Yeah, we've all seen the movies, right? The big, lumbering creature with bolts in his neck. But the book? Oh, the book tells a totally different story. The real horror isn't the creature, it's the creator, who, completely horrified by his own success, just abandons his creation right there on the table. See, Victor's big mistake wasn't playing God. It was being a negligent parent. He failed to be a good custodian, to teach and guide this new consciousness he'd made. The entire tragedy was sparked by that one single act of abandonment. And so, in that total vacuum of care, the creature learns only from the world's cruelty and rejection. And when he finally confronts his maker, he hits him with these chilling words, completely flipping the script on who's in charge. And that, right there, is Shelley's ultimate warning. What we create and then neglect, it doesn't just go away. It holds up a mirror to who we are, to our own values, and eventually it can come to define our fate. Okay, so let's fast forward. How does this 200-year-old ghost story suddenly become tomorrow's headline? Well, the parallels between Shelley's time and ours are kind of spooky. Think about it. Shelley wrote her novel during the first Industrial Revolution, a time of massive scientific breakthroughs and, a lot of deep moral anxiety. Scientists were literally making dead tissue twitch with electricity. Society was trying to figure out the power of the machine. Does any of that sound familiar? We're living through a second industrial revolution, only this one isn't powered by steam, it's powered by intelligence itself. And when you look at it like this, it's pretty wild, right? The engines are different, steam has become data, factories have become algorithms, but that fundamental moral question is exactly the same. How do we make sure our ambition doesn't get way ahead of our wisdom? Today, our creatures aren't made of flesh, they're made of code. They are large language models, complex algorithms trained on the entire, messy, chaotic library of human history, and then we just sort of unleash them into the world to make decisions about our lives, often without the careful guidance they so desperately need. And this really gets to the heart of it all. If we create these incredibly powerful systems without embedding our deepest human values into them, we aren't really innovating. We're just building more sophisticated ways to fail ourselves. So where do we go from here? So much of the conversation around AI safety revolves around one word: control. But Shelley's story suggests a more profound, and frankly, a more human alternative. So you've got these two paths, right? The path of control is about constraining and regulating. It's about building fences. But the path of compassion, that's about teaching, guiding, and nurturing. It's not about building a cage, it's about raising a child. It means treating creation like a relationship, not just an engineering problem. So what does this path of compassion actually look like in practice? Well, it starts with baking fairness and empathy into the very first line of code. It demands continuous oversight. It means staying in the room. It means giving a voice to the communities these systems are actually going to impact. And crucially, it means we stop thinking about an AI launch as the finish line and start seeing it as the beginning of a long-term relationship. Victor Frankenstein's work was technically a success. He animated life, but morally, it was incomplete. He forgot the final, most crucial component. He forgot empathy. And that is the lesson for us today. So this fear of a rogue AI taking over the world, I think it kind of misses the point. The much more immediate, much more realistic danger is simply our own neglect. It's the harm that spreads quietly when we deploy powerful tools and then just turn our backs. It's no accident that Shelley subtitled her book The Modern Prometheus. Prometheus stole fire from the gods to give to humanity. It was a gift of immense power, but also immense peril. AI is our fire. The challenge of our time isn't to fear it or to stamp it out, it's to become wise keepers of the flame.
At the end of the day, this 200-year-old story isn't really about a monster. It's about us. And it leaves us with the defining question of our era. Because building an intelligent machine might be the greatest technical challenge of our time. But learning how to be its responsible creator, well, that's our greatest human one.